Welcome back to Sims Complete. I'm your host, Matt Sims, alongside Phil Sims, Double Sticks, the man himself, brought to you by FanDuel on the Believe Network. Big guy, we had a great night last night. We were down there, the Meadowlands.
Yes.
It was actually a beautiful fall night, crystal clear night, great view of the city on the way in, and the New York Giants able to take down the Philadelphia Eagles on Thursday Night Football. Lot of great New York goats in the crowd. We had Phil Sims there. We had Lawrence Taylor there. We had Charles Oakley there.
Mm.
We had Chris Sims. He's not a Giant legend, but hey, he's a local legend. And Chris was
He was,
Christopher, I should say, my
yes.
brother. Yeah, he was letting the Eagles fans have it. He definitely was.
Gosh.
And yeah, he was something, man. Even Big Phil was like, Christopher, damn it. God, just stop talking so much.
I yelled at him, shut up.
Did it
Because
work?
he was yelling at, like you said, Eagle fans. I thought, one of these guys or a couple of them might want to come over and have a fight. I mean, I don't know. I'm like, come on.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable. And I would yell very loud, and he would shut up. He'd shut up for like 30 seconds, and they'd be like, why are they doing this? He was it's like, okay. Yeah.
He was so loud that even when you were yelling at him, you couldn't even get through, right? Because he was just so out there. And
Yeah.
as his son would say, he's like, "Gosh, my dad sometimes is really obnoxious." I said, hey, deal with it, dog. All right, I don't know what to tell you.
He said that?
Yeah, he did. It was
Oh,
pretty funny.
oh, that is great.
It
Well,
was pretty funny. It
he
was
gets
great, but we had a good time.
yeah, it
That
was
was an
good.
awesome win.
Being at the game, I haven't been in a game. I don't know when. It's been a long time. Last year, I saw the opening game of the year
Yeah.
because we were doing stuff on the field and saw them play the Minnesota Vikings, and it was a disaster. But where we were with a friend of ours, the Granatels, had us in their box,
Yeah.
and it was the perfect view of the game. You were close enough to really kind of feel it, and you were far enough where you could see everything. So, man, were we geniuses after the fact during that game? Wow. I mean, why are they doing? I would have never done that. It's just, there was a huge group of all of us that were on top, enjoying the game, but second guessing everything,
Of course, that's what we
Yeah.
do. That's what fans do, and I love the fact too that here we are, we're the Sims family, right? And you're the man, you're a Giants legend, right? Christopher, of course, one of the best in the business to do it. Me doing my best, right, to fit in with the family business. But like as soon as we walked in and we started watching the game, hey, throw out all of the media stuff. We're just fans. We're fans of the New York Giants.
Yeah.
We're cheering on our home team. And yeah, occasionally an Eagles fan caught a stray or two every now and then, So it's part of it. And I think that's ultimately that's why we love the game so much, because even when you're not playing in it, you could still participate in it. You could still, enjoy the energy of the atmosphere and all that kind of stuff and the debate you have with teams and rivals and all that. So it was really a great night. But yeah, big guy. So let's get into now. All right, put the media hat back on.
I got it.
And he's like, I got shit. I woke up with it.
Yeah.
What do you think, big guy? What was your number one takeaway from
Oh,
the Giants' victory against the Eagles?
just the energy they had. And of course, you say that and you hear it on TV. I say it, you say it, but
Yeah.
you get the energy because you make some plays.
Right.
And they had success once again. Jaxson Dart, 3 starts, opening drive, touchdown, touchdown, touchdown. I mean, come on. That's and so the energy was right at it. As soon as he ran the first time, the crowd noise. I mean, wow, the crowd goes crazy over quarterback runs.
Yeah.
And I think a couple things. One, he ran the ball really well. If you notice, he's always here wherever he is, and every run starts with what? He's going up the middle.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he's reading and giving the concepts of the play. He gives it a chance to work, but as soon as he sees it's not going to work, he decides I got to escape, and it's always forward, a couple times outside, but not many. But I came away. He's running well, but I think his throwing, and I've said I've underestimated his running, but I think I'm underestimating his throwing too. He had about 4 plays throwing the football. One was on the run when he just leaned over to the right and threw a strike to the right sideline. That was awesome. And
Yeah,
then
to Wandell. Yeah.
he was getting hit and threw a corner route to the tight end. Was
Theo
that
Johnson, beautiful
it
throw on
was
third
it?
down. Yeah.
Just under pressure, and I'm like, oh, and then the crowd would go crazy. I go, oh my god, he threw it and completed it. So that's my first thing, and the other one is Cam Skattebo. I thought when the Giants drafted, I probably said this on one of our podcasts, Matt, that every time it's 3rd and 2 or less, they'll bring him in.
Right.
Well, I listen. The damn guy is an NFL running back. I heard on the TV today. I'll give him credit. Colin Coward said this when he was at the combine. Man, I'll give you a chance. What do you think his vertical jump was?
Cam's vertical jump was it 32?
39 and a half.
39 and a half.
I
Wow.
mean,
Yeah. Well,
listen,
hey, when you
wow.
can do a backflip with shoulder pads and a helmet on, that
Yeah,
just tells you that you're explosive.
yeah, that's exactly right. So my point being, they got a first and second and a third down runner there when they need it, and also a guy that's a very good athlete who has good hands also. So they're just some of my quick thoughts. I got more, of course. I want to hear some of yours, Matt.
I think you're spot on, big guy. Right. The initial takeaway really is just the fact that like these young guys don't know any better. These young guys don't know what Dayball and the rest of this crew has been dealing with these past few years, or managing, and the challenges that have come with it, and the lack of production from the offensive line, and the lack of depth and all that. They don't give a damn about that. Why? Because that's someone else's story, right?
Right.
And I think that's what you really kind of get from just when you listen to Cam Skattebo talk, right? When you listen to Jaxson Dart talk, it's just, it doesn't matter what took place. What matters now is them being in the present moment and giving their all. And I think that's really what I genuinely see. And there I am sitting with Philip, right? My nephew, right? Christopher's son, and just saying to him, he's like, wow, he goes, Jaxson Dart is really playing good. He's really sharp. I'm like, yeah, he's sharp for a rookie. He's sharp enough. I said, but ultimately, what is getting it done is the fact that he's a football player and he's playing hard as hell every single football play.
Wow, good.
And that's really what it is, right? It's not always, he's not perfect and all this. And hey, it doesn't matter. It's not about perfection, as you've always taught me about this game, right? But he's finding a way. He's willing his team to victory. He's playing hard, right? And he's cutting the football loose, right? He's trusting what he sees and he's throwing it with power. There was probably one throw that was very questionable that he made. Luckily for him, it was tipped at the line of scrimmage. Because
Yes.
that was one play where it was very funny. You and me, we both looked at each other, and Big Guy goes, "Ooh," he goes, "Good thing that was tipped." that was Big Phil's breakdown of the play. But
Yeah, it was.
you see little Jordan Humphrey, right? His impact in the game. It's nice to see a big, strong, physical receiver on the outside who, yeah, does he lack speed? Yeah, there's no doubt about that. But he's going to win 50-50s. We haven't seen that, right? So for him to go up there and make a big time catch early on in the football game, the first drive of the game, that was big. Jaxson Dart's ability to move within the pocket and to create space with his legs as a runner, but also to throw on the run, is a difference maker. He's elusive. He's strong when he runs. And of course, that amplifies everything else that they're doing offensively. Because he's protecting the offensive line. He's not getting sacked as much, right? He's creating more opportunities for big plays outside the pocket, which is great. And he's just showing a fearlessness that I feel like we're all just excited to see again, right? Because of how conservative it looked like early on with Russell Wilson. There is no conservative nature with the way that Jaxson Dart's playing, and he has absolutely amplified everyone around him. And it's infectious.
Well, let me say this. Going down to training camp for many days, watching him play, of course, I was watching Jaxson Dart, basically everything he was doing, I was checking it out. And I could see the connection between two people, him and Brian Dayball.
Yeah.
I mean, man, they were all over him. Everything they did, let's fix it. Let's do that was good, whatever. But you know what he did, Matt? And now I look back and go, it was the right thing to do. I go, why are you doing this? He was running with the football. He didn't like what he saw, so he'd run. And when you're doing this stuff and it's just your team, usually you kind of hang in there and let everybody and then throw it late and complete it and all that. But he was playing the game.
Yeah.
So if I don't like to read, oh, it's not there, boom, run. He saw the opening in front of me, took off. And now it hit me last night on the ride home. I go, damn, he was duplicating the game every day, and I was judging it the wrong way. So that was pretty cool. I don't know why I thought of it, and I went, man, that's so true. And
Yeah.
the other thing is, we're sitting up there. It's easy to be a coach up there. I understand,
Yeah.
but Jalen Hurts is the quarterback. They got good receivers, really good receivers, and that worries me a little bit about the Giants going forward.
No doubt.
When you were talking about uh, the receiver, what? How do you say his name?
Little Jordan Humphrey.
Little Jordan Humphrey. Well,
Yes, sir.
he was like a tight end, wide receiver, inside guy for Denver, and it worked pretty well for him.
Yeah.
But when you're playing Jalen Hurts, those receivers, me, I want to see zone coverage. Why?
Mhm.
Because I want Jalen Hurts to have to look, make a decision, then make the throw. When you play man to man, which the Giants did a lot, well, he's going to look at one guy and throw it. It's man to man. He likes his chances. And quite honestly, so would I if I had
Yeah.
that group out there running man to man. So that was one of my little pet peeves in the game. When he played man to man, Jalen dropped back and made the throw. And also, the other thing, I thought overall, not to just blame him, but just say it, some bad decisions and some missed throws by Jalen Hurts were a big part of the game.
That's exactly right. So the one drop by Theo Johnson in, I believe, the third quarter of the football game, the Giants punt on that ensuing drive by the Philadelphia Eagles, Jalen Hurts misses the big post or
Oh,
the
yeah.
go route to Devontae Smith. When he missed that throw, I was like, damn, it's our night. We're going to win this football game, right? And as soon as he threw it, he missed it. And how Devontae Smith got behind the defense, no idea. Honestly, that's one thing that I would say about the secondary right now is that occasionally there's too many snafus where all of a sudden Dallas Goedert in the fourth quarter. How the hell does one of the
Uncovered.
best tight ends in the league get down the middle of the field and there's not even a person within a 10 by 10-yard radius of him in a critical situation of the game too? If they score quickly there, who knows what happens,
Sure.
right? So that was huge. Flott, obviously, with the interception, that was a great break on the ball. But that was also another play though too, where like maybe had AJ Brown for a touchdown. So
Oh, yeah. No, no, I mean, unless he made another really bad throw, Matt.
yeah,
Yeah, wide
it's a
open
touchdown.
touchdown.
So that's where like, hey, the Giants kind of got by. Defensively, I think overall the secondary is still an issue, right? Defensive front, Brian Burns is awesome. Let's just face it, he's awesome.
Yes.
Abdul Carter is playing really well and has no signs of it on the stat sheet, but he's disruptive. He's messing stuff up. That's great. The stats, I think, will come. Kayvon Thibodeau's playing good. Sexy Dexy is still, I feel like, he's not quite his normal superstar Pro Bowl self yet, which is strange considering how well everyone else is doing. So,
Right.
last year it was like, can we help out Sexy Dexy? This year it's like he's the one that needs to kind of catch up to the rest of the group.
Good point.
But overall, good win. It doesn't matter how it happens. They got the job done. And, I think really the biggest thing is, yeah, Cam Skattebo, like, awesome. He is just like a New York Giant through and through. He's perfect. He's a little bit of a throwback for us. He's got an old school style to him. It fits our team and what we need for our football team as far as a boost of energy. And, it's real simple. When it's in the low red zone, I don't give a damn. Give him the ball and just, hey, run it. Run it. And I was in the stands too. Like you heard me say, like, hey, if there's no hole, so what? Just run over your own teammate and push him in the end zone
Yeah,
too.
that's right. That's right.
Like, and he has that type of attitude, and that's something too that I think is very important for this team going forward.
My last thing about this game, so many good stuff, good things to talk about.
Yeah,
But what Cam Skattebo is doing, it's giving the offensive line the chance to get tough.
that's
In
right.
other words, let's run it hard. And they realize, even though I didn't maybe push my guy too far, this train behind me is hitting in that spot. And man, that's the other thing. They go forward when he hits the hole hard. The line
Yeah.
will go right with him. And yeah, I think that's huge. Being physical, it's still not about what we say about all this other stuff. Man, a lot of times it's who hits the hardest, who's the strongest and toughest. That's who wins the game. And the Giants were all those last night against the Eagles.
That's a great point, Big Guy. And I think the offensive line, right? They get a little empowered, right, as
No
a
doubt.
group, knowing that, all right, this guy's throwing his body around. Well, let's strain a little bit more. right, for this guy. Let's push this pile one extra time to get that
Yes.
extra half a yard, whatever it is. And I think that's extremely crucial.
Well,
And who would have thought too that Cam Skattebo would have outrushed Saquon Barkley and the Philadelphia Eagles? That's where it's like kind of just shows you the dysfunction of the Eagles, right? And just kind of what their dysfunction of what they're doing, right? And then overall, just yeah, maybe the offensive line isn't as good as it was a year ago. Maybe the scheme is just a little too simple, right? At times, or limiting, right? That's what I feel like a lot of Eagles players are kind of said in the post game press conferences that just like, we're not quite as creative as we need to be in critical moments right now, right? So it's pretty interesting to see that just like
yeah,
as a talented of his team as they are, they haven't quite clicked yet. And here's the
no.
Giants on a short week on a really big win after losing to the New Orleans Saints a week ago.
Hey, look, all this great stuff about the Giants. There were many opportunities for the Eagles to make the play, to make the
Yeah,
right decision. Somebody's there, it's open, whatever. And, always trying to be more creative. No, let's just play better.
yeah,
And this was probably another wake up call for them. I mean, come on, they dominated the Giants basically last year. I did the game on radio. Oh my gosh, it was rough, and they hard to maybe after losing to Denver come up. All the Giants, they watched the New Orleans tape. I wouldn't blame them. They go, hell, we should win this game by 20.
yeah.
So it was just emotionally two different teams, and the Giants took advantage of it. So that was great.
Yeah, and I think the other thing too is just no Jalen Carter, so the lack of defensive line depth, which was so strong a year ago,
Yeah,
as the game wore on, that was something that popped up too. Because then you could really see, yeah, oh, the Giants' offensive line is really getting a good push. They're getting Cam past the line of scrimmage 2 or 3 yards before he's getting contact. Right when it was kind of like obvious running situation, especially there in the last drive of the game, they're running the football and they were still able to do it. So that's always a good sign for a football team when everyone in the stadium knows what you're doing and you're still able to do it.
Yeah, it was one thing your brother said correctly. He kept screaming, "No, Jalen Carter." Okay, we know.
Yeah, that's
That's
right.
the
Right.
14th time of yelling it. I got it. All
Yeah.
right, So good stuff. It was really good. Man, I think about it too. They next two games, they got the Denver Broncos and
Yep.
then take a trip down to Philadelphia. It's amazing. It just sometimes you get lucky. The Giants were not lucky this year as far as the schedule goes, but look who they beat. They beat the Philadelphia Eagles, and we thought maybe until they had all these injuries, the Chargers might be the best team in football.
That's right.
So they showed they can play with anybody out there, and it's going to be rough the rest of the year. But they're going to sneak in and win their share of games, I think.